Now let's look at a more advanced technique with scanf pattern matching when we actually type some extra characters into format string. Right. So any non-white space characters that are not part of a format specifier cause the scanf to read the next character from standard input. Right? It tries to match that character. So standard input, what you typed in the keyboard, if that character doesn't match the format string, it's going to, if it matches it, it ignores the character, skips over, and starts reading with the next character the format string. If it doesn't match, then scanf, the function will fail to read that information in. It'll return and it'll leave subsequent standard in characters unread. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to write a program that causes the user to type in a month in the format month/year. So the months and years will be integer information. We're going to add this / into the string. So we'll have two variables. They're both of type int for month and year. We're going to prompt the user to enter the information. We've got the %d. We've got the / sign, the %d. We're going to store things in the address of month and year and then print them back out. Right. This is an example where the user typed 8/2014 and it stored our information in 24, or in each of the variables inside month and year. All right. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to pop my slides back up so I can just throw this program into code blocks. Let's ignore that. That's one from previous tutorial. All right, here we are. Here's our month and year. Right, here's our message to prompt the user. %d. Right, so this first placeholder is going to store things in the address of month in that variable. It expects to read a base 10 integer. Then it expects the user to type this / right, and then the integer for the year. Right, let's build and run. Yeah. Oh, copy paste gets me into trouble. And notice in this case, copying from my slide, put in a double quote in a way this couldn't recognize it. Right, so enter month / year. So if I enter 8/2014, it's likely when I made up this example, right, we can see then that it successfully reads the 8, stores that month, stores the 2014. In year, it ignores, then it matched. So our input matched this / right here. It ignored it, just skipped over it, read it in there. Right. Let's see if we run this again. If what happens if I type 8/2014. Because we didn't type that / because we didn't match this pattern here, all it did was read information into 8. I'm not quite sure why. Actually, it's the address that year is occupying used to have the number 8 in it. It may have put that in there. Let's go ahead and initialize this to something. All right, let's initialize this to 0. And this one as well too, so that we have known initialized values. And let's run that again. It shouldn't have stored the number 8 in year. Right. So let's verify 8/2014. All right, you can see that year got the number 0, not the number 8. So all it was able to do, it was able to match this first 8 against this %d. The space then did not match this / so scanf failed. It said, I can't read that, I can't reconcile it because this pattern doesn't match. So you can do things, you can format fields to get users to enter something in a way, in a very specific format, but if what they enter doesn't match, scanf will fail. Right. See, if I take out this / if I take out the /, don't leave a space, we've seen this before with integers, we build and run. All right, now if I type 8/2014, I need the space so it stops reading the first number. All right, we get our 8 and our 2014, even though we didn't leave a space back here. Remember, this space terminates reading the first one in, This is scanf skips over any sort of leading white space, so we're okay. Same way as if we put one space in here, build and run. Right. 8 space 2014. That worked as well too. All right. So pattern matching, right? When we do that, we have to let the user know that they need to type it in to match that pattern, but we can force them to do something like that. Similarly, if we wanted to do month, day, year, so let's add a variable, day, let's initialize that to 0 so we have some known value, month, day, year. Let's print that out. Let's build and run. All right, so here we are. I probably should have changed my message, right? Because now I need, according to this string, I need the slash. So 8/1/2014. All right, I matched the pattern with the 2 forward slashes. This worked. And let's update that. Day/year. And build and run. All right, so now if I type 8/1/2014, what do you think will happen? Let's see. Right. So it didn't mind the leading white space because I matched this pattern to this forward slash. So it skipped over the leading white space. You can't, well, it's difficult to know exactly what scanf will do in every situation, right? You can play with scanf quite a bit to have a pretty intuitive understanding of what it'll do. Like I said, we're going to learn some error checking techniques as we learn more C to try to establish that the user has typed in some sort of reasonable input before our program processes it, right? And you can do other pattern matching things. If I wanted the user to type pound signs, right? I could put, if I wanted to type a pound sign and then a slash, I could put a pound sign in here to match this. So now the user needs to type 8/1/2014. I get my 8/1/2014. If we run it again, now what happens if I type 8/1/2014? It read the 8, but because I didn't match the pattern, because this forward slash didn't match the pattern of the pound sign, scanf failed to read anything else into these, right? As soon as it doesn't match that pattern, it fails and it returns. Like I said, you can use other characters in there to pattern match. Go ahead and experiment with them if you want. This is a little more advanced, right, from the basic usage of scanf.